Hello, my name is Xavier Mercado, and this is Spearhead Conversations. Hello, my name is Xavier Mercado, and this is Spearhead Conversations. Today, I'm joined by Steve Phillips, a.k.a. PhillyFlyBoy. For the longest I've watched, I've seen, he's the purest example of never forgetting where you came from. His continued success in the music industry as a music director, he's worked with some of the greatest names of our time. Lil Wayne, J. Cole, even a personal friend of his, T.I. And with all that success, he's always returned home, giving back to the community, as well as spreading his knowledge with those aspiring to be entrepreneurs and creators such as myself. I am blessed. I am honored. So without further ado, how you doing, Philly?
Hey, come on. That's a hell of an intro. I feel like WWF, we're going to have the fireworks going on. I was waiting for the fireworks to go off on that one.
Yeah, man. I got, it's paying respect to everyone that jumps on here, especially you, man. You've been in that industry and to, from the first time I talked to you to seeing everything you've done, you put the city on your back. And for me, that's inspiring. And that's kind of what I'm on. I'm on a grind right now and I want Milwaukee to really show. So how can I do these interviews without getting your attention, But thank you for showing up, man.
No, definitely. I mean, for me, the biggest thing too is, and this is part of a big part of my success too, is I was able to work with a lot of people before they were big, right? Yeah. So I think a lot of people always focus on who's the biggest and who's the hottest and who's the greatest, and they try to get in that world. And I try to identify talent before it gets big, because everybody was not everybody was a platinum artist the first song they dropped. You know what I'm saying? So it's when you recognize talent on that come up level, you can see. I mean, I've been around enough talent that I can see if someone's got what it takes, or if they even just have the work ethic for what it takes, because the talent, it matters obviously, but the work ethic will outweigh the talent a lot of the time. So
for sure.
When I see that, I always like to respond heavily to that. I mean, I recognize your stuff right away. I mean, it was like, okay, you're doing it right.
Appreciate that.
You're taking it serious. It's the consistency's there. That's a big thing that I always see with a lot of people. They might have the talent, they might have the good setup, but there's no consistency.
Yeah.
And that's I know from doing this for so long that the consistency needs to be there in order for things to happen. Yeah. So if I don't see that in somebody, I'm like, man, they're so dope, but it's not gonna work.
I owe that to my team, but as much as that goes, I owe that success to them. They put in as much work as I do, so I appreciate it.
That's tough to find too. Good teamwork is tough. I mean, in any level, on a major level. I mean, look at some of these NBA teams; they got the best talent in the world, and it's not working.
Yeah,
they can't work together.
Good old Lakers this year, man.
Come on,
But it's been a journey, and it's coming up on a year that the idea was born.
Dope.
Because I had a life-changing moment, and alcohol I put to the side. This week it actually will make a year.
Come on.
So, and since then it's just been focusing on this, and I've read a lot of books since then, more than I ever did in high school or those parts of my life, but it's really self-help and financial literacy books.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of it too, though, is replacing things,
Yeah, habits.
Yeah, you got to just replace things, and I mean, everyone goes through those phases of getting into a bad habit,
Yeah.
But the same way I always, if you can do a bad habit, you can do a good habit, right?
Yeah.
And they always give you the science behind it. If you do something for 30 days, it's now a habit or whatever it is, but it's really about, no one's going to check on that for you.
Yeah.
And having that self-awareness is super key to, I think, to anything. Yeah. And taking the time, I literally, after every shoot, I literally sit and I say, what could I do better?
Yeah.
And I ask the artists, I ask people that worked with me, hey, is there anything I could do better? What do you see I could do better?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't ask that.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons, mainly because they don't want to hear something bad, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't formally trained So I have to ask that because that's how I learn.
Yeah.
You know, and you're never, obviously, you never know everything. And even if you do know everything, things change. So there's new information all the time anyway. And someone might have something that you might not have. So I continually ask people around me, like, what could I do better? What do you think I did about this? How do you feel about this? And I just fine tune.
That's awesome. If people could put their like pride, egos to the side and really like with what they do, try to actually learn. And you know, I've been able. You've kept an open line of communication with me, and I've appreciated. I have taken your advice, you know, with some of the things I've asked. But it's been great, man. I really respect what you do. So again, dude, I'm grateful you here, man, and you're an example to everyone. You know, this is how far you could take your success. You know, so let's jump in, man.
Let's get it.
Where did you grow up?
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Born and raised.
What part of Milwaukee?
South side of Milwaukee.
South side.
Yeah. So went to Milwaukee Hamilton High School. I was a hooper though too, so I was all over the city. That was kind of like one of the things too that my network was already like you know, huge because I played ball 5 days out of the week at every court in the city. I was on the north side, south side.
Oh, that's dope.
I was everywhere.
Yeah.
So you know, hooping was like, you know, that was like life. You know, I had the pants on with the silky short. You know, you had the hooping shorts underneath the pants back in high school, so you could just
the buttons.
Yeah, you could just hop out the car and boom, just you be in shorts ready to hoop right away. You had 3 pairs of shoes in the trunk.
Yeah.
You know, you was good to go.
That's dope.
So I knew a little bit of everybody just from the hooping side of it. So when the music started happening, you know.
Yeah. Didn't Looney and Poole on the State Warriors, they went to Hamilton too, right?
Looney went to Hamilton, yeah. He's a little younger than me. And then I don't know, Jordan Poole. I don't know about that.
They always say he's from Milwaukee.
He's from Milwaukee.
I
don't know where he went to school, but then Tyler Hero went to Franklin.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
My little cousins, man. His name's Cheeks. Nickname Cheeks.
Yeah, there's some real Puerto Rican.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, Bobby Cheeks.
He balled with his little brother, and you know, Hero would show up at the games before he got signed.
Yeah.
But
we used to do open gym with Dwayne Wade at Marquette.
That's dope.
Yeah, because Dwayne Wade's my age. So when he was at Marquette, they'd have this late night open gym at like 11 o'clock at night. I still don't understand like who set that up.
Yeah.
But it was like the hoopers. Only the hoopers knew about this open gym. So it was like balling it. And I remember Dwayne Wade would be down there just a handful of times. Obviously, you know, he was like the star player too. So he didn't want to get injured or anything like that. He wasn't there every night, but like when we would go, he was showing it. It was like the best guy that we thought was with us.
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade made dude look like he was a 4th grader. Like it was crazy.
Man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So how was your upbringing?
I mean, it was pretty much, you know, Southside kid. I was all over the place, like I said, with hooping, and I was kind of, you know, mixed in with everybody. So I got a good kind of grasp of the city, and I was around dudes doing music from the north side, south side. Milwaukee being kind of set up how it is, it's like, you know, you're either on one side of town or the other.
Oh, for sure.
And I was one of the few people that probably wasn't that way. I was all over the place. You know, like I said, the hooping kind of opened the door for that. So when I started doing music, like we had a little record label, and we had dudes from the east side, north side. Like we had the most like diverse.
That's
we had
fire.
Puerto Ricans, we had Mexicans, we had blacks, we had everybody. Like we looked like the damn UN when we started the record label.
The United Nations.
So
that's what's up.
And I had to set up, like I was like, everyone was like, man, we need a spot to record. So I was always that guy, like just like you. Like, all right, well shit, let me do it at my crib.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was like, we bought a Radio Shack mic. Like I set it all up. I'm telling people, yeah, I got a studio. So like, you know, people think a studio, like they think a studio. I got literally a mic like taped to the wall, no padding, nothing. Like we in that bitch just doing it super like bootleg. But I was the only one doing it. Yeah. Everybody else was talking about doing it. Sure. So even though my setup at first was weak, everybody was like, "Oh, at least you got somewhere to record. Like it sound cool." And I was freaking it. Like I knew how to make it sound good. So as I got people over there, of course, I'm on the business side of things. I'm like, all right, if y'all want to record here, you can record for free, right? Mm-hmm. But everybody got to throw in $200 so I can buy a new mic and then build a booth. You know
Oh,
what I'm
that's
saying?
dope. Yeah.
So you got to pay like a you know what I'm saying, a startup fee.
Hell yeah.
And then that's how I got the real studio built out and the real mic, and then I started learning how to do all the audio stuff.
Isn't that crazy how when people actually come together, man?
Yeah.
I'm telling you the name.
Well, they had to.
Yeah,
I like, that's the thing. I leveraged myself, so it wasn't even like you know, like before anything was going on. You know, I was already in mode, and this is what I tell people too. Like, it's so much easier to make connections when you're working, right? Work creates work. It's on my hat. It's one of my logos. It's literally one of my trademark logos. Is work creates work, right?
Yep.
So if I would have just approached these guys with nothing, right?
Yeah.
And said, hey, everyone give me $200 to put the studio together, no one would have gave me that money.
For sure.
Nobody. But I leveraged myself by creating the studio. Even though it was weak,
Yeah.
it was good enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it gave them the idea, like, okay, well,
Yeah.
that's where it's at. Plus, I had, like, you know, I had the basement all maxed out.
Yeah.
It was dope. Had TV down there. We had the couches down there. It was dope. And it was like a little kicking spot. So when I'm in mode already, I'm already doing this, it's not hard for them to see it, the vision, and see that this might be the play. And that's something that people are going to want to invest in. And it goes with anything, like with you.
Yeah.
If you just went up and hit up a bunch of people and said, hey, I'm trying to start a podcast, I need $1 million. They'd be like, okay, well, what kind of credentials you got? Are you doing it right now? No. I'm not doing nothing. I want to do it. Okay, well, why aren't you doing it with your own means? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why aren't you making it work? Well, all the excuses start coming in.
For sure.
So that's like one of the keys to my success too. I don't wait for people. I don't try to ask people for nothing.
Yeah.
I do it, and they see me doing it. And then once I'm in the mode of doing it, then it gets recognized, and then it's an easy ask.
Yeah.
That you know, when you're already in mode, that ask is so much easier than if you're just Joe Buddy on the couch, because there's 100 Joe Buddies on the couch asking for a handout. That's easy. Anybody can do that. Anyone can sit on the couch and ask anybody, well, bro, can I get this? Can I get that? That's not how things work.
Yeah.
In the real world, the best way to do it for me, especially, is how I got it cracking, was I just made it happen with what I had.
Yeah.
I didn't even trip if the quality wasn't up to speed. Didn't trip if it didn't look like the $1 million setup. I didn't even care.
Yeah.
But I was doing it. So you see the vision now.
For sure. Hell
And then
yeah.
people want to invest in that. It's just like anything. If you see somebody getting money and they got, you know, a whole bunch of jewelry on you, oh, he getting money.
Yep.
I'm going to ask him about how to get money.
Hell yeah.
Now, he look broke and you know he ain't got no money and you know he's struggling. You going to ask that person for advice on money? Hell no, you ain't going to do that. You got to be in mode. So however you got to create that mode, make it happen. It doesn't have to be in a Ferrari. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I'm not looking to be, you know, I ain't got to come out and be in the NFL off the first game.
Yeah.
But I'm busting them big stats even in high school. Now you see the vision. It's the same thing it's a perfect example with a high school athlete. You could tell, oh, yeah, he go to the league.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell that if he's sitting on the couch not playing, right?
Oh, no.
You could tell when he's in the game though, right?
Definitely.
So if you ain't in the game,
Yep.
you ain't never gonna make it.
You ain't gonna do it.
You gotta make it work.
Man. So you know, in the information you just dishing out, I mean, it's been crazy, man. Consistency is the biggest thing. And every book I've read, consistency. It don't matter how big it is, it's just keeping at it, keep doing, and keep pushing. How did you come about video? So you set up a studio.
Yeah.
You know,
Like everybody.
And like everyone else.
Everyone was a rapper.
Yeah, everybody's
singing,
is a rapper.
making beats.
How did you get into video?
So it was basically a need.
Yeah.
It was a need.
Oh, for sure.
We have the label.
Yeah.
And what comes naturally with that, you need mixtape covers, you need promotion, you know, you need a video. So, of course, the same thing that I did with the studio setup.
Yeah.
We're evaluating. I'm constantly evaluating how can we get better. Do we need a better mic? Does a better mic make a difference? No. Does a better whatever make a difference? No. Does video make a difference? Definitely. How do we get that popping? So we start asking. I'm hitting everybody up. Yo, you got access to cameras? Because this is before cameras were readily available, you know?
Yeah.
So my guy on the label, they had access to a camera. So we got the camera, shot a video, went crazy. And then, again, I went back to everyone on the label, said, yo, I got a camera we can buy for $2,000. Everybody put in $300. And then I'll shoot the videos for free. Yeah. But you guys I'm throwing my 300 in too. But I'm saying, like, it's collectively we can all get a good camera, and then everyone gets their video shot for free.
That is so fire.
So it's like I had to make them see it though. So I had to figure out how to get a camera, got the camera, and then once they saw it, everybody on the label seen it like, oh yeah, I need, like the second they see the video, they're like, oh bro, I need a video, bro. Yeah. Of course you do. Okay, so here's what we need. Here, you need that, I need this.
Hell yeah.
Is it worth $300 to you? Cool. Everyone was, yeah, hell yeah. Boom, threw the 300 in, boom, we got the camera, and and we started shooting. And then where it changed from being, at first it was like we're the only ones doing videos kind of thing. Like, yeah, we're better than everybody, da-da-da. And then my mind kind of expanded because I'm like, everyone's from Milwaukee. Like, why are we competing with Milwaukee people? Like, we need to be competing on a national scale, Yeah. And I got hit up for a video from a random rapper in Milwaukee. He was like, hey, bro, you shoot videos? I got a couple dollars for you. And I'm like, damn. I didn't even like promote that I shoot videos. I mean, they knew that I was the one shooting them, but I never was like, yo, hit me for videos. Someone just hit me for a video, and it all like came together in my mind, and I stopped doing the studio. Stopped writing, rapping, singing, everything I was doing.
So that's how you basically got your break as far as dipping into video.
Someone called me about paying for a video. Okay. And I was like, damn, I've never been paid for anything with music, and I've never been paid for anything with the studio, and nothing with this, and nothing. Man. And when someone offered me money for the video stuff, and I loved the video, like art's always been a thing for me. So it wasn't like I did something totally different, and I love the music industry. So it all just, when someone wanted to pay me and I wasn't even promoting myself, I said, I must be doing something right.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
So
but then I stopped everything else too.
Oh, for sure.
And went all in.
And focus.
Yeah.
So with as you continued with the video, now you know this is what I need to be doing. This is how I'm gonna make profit. This is how I'm gonna make a name for myself.
And it wasn't money driven.
Okay.
I don't want that to be confused like, oh, yeah,
for sure.
I'm about to get paid. It wasn't even that, but it was that it was working.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you get hit up and you're not promoting it, that something must be right. When people are knocking on the door and you ain't got a sign outside, you know what I'm saying? And they're knocking on the door like, hey, you the guy that does this? And you're like, how'd you know? I didn't even got a sign out front. Yeah. I heard from somebody else. When they come seek you out and they find you for something that you do, a skill set that you do, you must be doing something right. Yeah. And that's what made sense to me. It wasn't even about him paying me. It was about him reaching out to me, and I never even met this person in my life, and I was not promoting myself as a director.
Shout out to that man, because
I can't literally. I gotta go look who the hell that was too, because it was somebody. Obviously, it was just a rapper from Milwaukee, but I can't remember who the hell it was.
So
you changed my life, dog.
I did my studying. Your nickname.
Yeah.
I saw on one of your videos you said it, but what's the story behind that? Why PhillyFlyBoy?
When I was a kid, there was 2 Stevens in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds like the whitest neighborhood ever. There's so many Stevens here.
The Van Blues.
Exactly, right? So there was another Steven there, so they started calling me Philip. And then they started, that morphed into Philly, and then all of a sudden I was Philly, like as a kid in my neyborhood.
Yeah.
So Philly was a nickname that I had for the longest. And then the Flyboy part, I always told people I was going to be a pilot.
Yeah.
Because my grandfather was a gunner in World War II.
See, that's dope.
And in World War II, if you were in the planes, they referred to you as a flyboy.
Okay.
So I always said, I want to be a flyboy. I want to be a flyboy. So when I came up to finding a name for myself, literally one of my other label mates, the person that guy on my thing, he was like, just call yourself PhillyFlyBoy. And like literally he just pulled it out of nowhere, because I was like, bro, I can't just be Philly, because if you Google Philly, like Philadelphia is going to outweigh anything I'm going to do. And boom, he was like, dog, you always talk about the Flyboy shit, like just call yourself PhillyFlyBoy. And I literally like it rolled off the tongue so crazy, like PhillyFlyBoy. I'm like, damn. And now it's progressed, and there's different things like that, obviously, because like the PFB, you know, I do a lot with the PFB. It's on my hat. You know, the PFB part of it too is a dope kind of, you know, like kind of like how Puffy do it. You know what I'm saying? So the PFB, just because obviously I'm like a grown ass man calling myself boy now, so it's like the PFB is a nice little spin off of that. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's basically essentially it. It's my legit name. Trust me, I get pressed from people from Philly all the time. Like, bro, what's up, bro? How you claiming Philly? I'm like, I'm not. I'm like, my middle name's Philip. And then they shut up, because I'm like, bro, it's like legit. This is really my name, you know?
Man. So you established your name, and by, like I said, that story is so cool. It's like how you got your nickname. But what was groundbreaking as far as after you stabilized that name to make breakaway into the industry? ended.
So there was probably two moments or two things that happened that were the biggest, like, I guess you could say, needle pushers and things that really changed everything for me. First one being, I got hit up by Sean Kingston on Twitter to come and shoot the tour that he was on with Justin Bieber and Nicki Minaj at the time. This is like Justin Bieber, like, Hey Baby, like, Nicki Minaj peak, you know,
2010,
and Sean Kingston, like, same thing. So they're on tour together. He saw a video that I shot for a guy here in Milwaukee on World Star and hit me up, and I didn't even respond.
Damn, you got on World Star?
Yeah, now I'm saying this is like when World Star was World Star.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah.
So we put it up. We all, again, we paid to put the video up on World Star, us collectively. Put it on World Star. It goes on World Star. I get a DM on Twitter from Sean Kingston. I didn't respond because I didn't even open it up because I thought it was fake. You know, I thought it was a fake account. I'm like, okay, it's just some spam or something. Yeah. Then I get another message. You get the email thing saying Sean Kingston sent you a direct message. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm like, someone's just making a fake account, whatever. So I'm like, all right, third time, boom. I'm like, okay, let me go look. And I'm like, oh, damn, it's the verified Sean Kingston account. He's like, what's up? Like, at this point, he's like, dog, what's going on, bro? Like, you don't want to work? And I hit him. He gives me his number. I call him, and he's like, yo, come shoot this tour for me. So I drive 12 hours to get to, I don't know, it's like Oklahoma City or something like that, to shoot this tour. I shoot the tour, and he puts that video on World Star. He shouted me out on it. I'm with Bieber. TMZ's calling me, asking me, because this is when him and Selena Gomez first got together. They're like, you got any footage of them together? I'm like, what's going on here? I'm like the local like rap video guy, and now TMZ's calling me. I'm like, how do you even have my number? You know. So long story short, that was a big moment. And then again, from an artist working here, he did some mixtape stuff with a DJ named DJ Woogie, from the East Coast. And Woogie's real connected and did a lot of stuff in the rap game. And Woogie was working with an artist named Trey the Truth from Houston. Which I didn't know who the hell that was. You know what I'm saying? For me, the only people I knew from Houston was like Slim Thug, Paul Wall. I was totally unaware of who Trey the Truth was. So he was like, yo, I work with this dude Trey. You guys should do a record and have Philly shoot the video. So boom, he does the record. We shoot, we go crazy with my artist, his scenes. We got cars, we're doing crazy stuff. We're like, man, this is the first video we're doing with a big artist, you know what I'm saying? We go nuts. I go to meet Trey in New York, and I'm like setting up locations and I'm figuring stuff out. I'm like, this is gonna be the greatest video ever. And I meet Trey in the lobby of like a Holiday Inn. I'm like, I bet, like the location's like a block away. We walk over there. He's like, no, I think we should just shoot it in the lobby.
Oh, wow.
Bro, I'm like, come on, bro. Seriously, I'm like telling him, trying to explain to him, but Trey's kind of like, Trey's street dude. And he don't talk a lot. So he like, bro, we just gonna shoot it and thing. And
you were like, just with Trey.
Yeah. Trey's like my brother now. But I'm saying at this point, I've never met Trey. Big ass dude, got jewelry on. He's like a big, well-known, established artist. I'm nobody. You know, I'm not who I am now. I'm like absolutely no pull, no nothing. And he's like, nah, we just gonna shoot it in the lobby. We're in the Holiday Inn lobby. We're not even in like a dope hotel lobby. We're in like the free breakfast, continental breakfast hotel. So I'm like, all right, well, whatever. So I find a little, duck offs, make the video pop. And the ironic part is this. So I get the video back. I send it to Trey. Trey gets mad at me for why does the other artist scenes look so dope and he's got all his cars and all this crazy stuff, and why does mine not look dope? I said, bro, you told me to shoot in a Holiday Inn, and I told you what we had shot, and you told me to fuck off, basically. So I'm like, bro, like, it's your fault. He was like, all right, cool. Well, you want to shoot some videos with me?
Oh, word.
And I'm like, all right, bet. Now, I still don't grasp how big Trey is.
How big he is,
Because down south is like a different world for us. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I go down, boom, and I literally get off the plane. My luggage gets lost. I'm in sandals and a white shirt and some hooping shorts. And I haven't slept. It was, an early morning flight. I had been up all night. It's 107,000 degrees in Houston. It's the middle of summer.
Damn.
Trey picks me up. I'm like, bro, I ain't even got my luggage. I can't even change clothes. He's like, all right, we'll stop at the gas station. We go to the Hood gas station. I get a whole Hood unit. I get the, you know what I'm saying? I get the Pro T. I get the Pro. I didn't even know Pro T made shorts. I got some Pro T shorts, but they obviously didn't have shoes, so I just still got the sandals on. So I shoot 3 videos that day.
Oh wow.
3 with Trey. He has them all set up. from morning to night.
Yeah.
In sandals, in 115-degree weather, and
Wow.
I had not slept yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is okay. Like,
Yeah.
all right, you know what I'm saying? And literally from that point on, Trey was like, yo, bro, if we rock, if we make this happen, like let's link, let's keep this up. He's like, I'm gonna get you situated with everybody in the industry. And probably within 6 to 8 months, I mean, I shot with Wiz, I shot with J. Cole, I shot with Kendrick, I shot with B.O.B., I shot with Lupe Fiasco, Wiz Khalifa. I mean, literally within a matter of 6 to 8 months of meeting Trey. So that was like the big wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, like meeting Trey was probably the big wave. And just not really, keep it real with you, like I didn't really know who Trey was.
Yeah.
So, but just I felt the energy, like he was a real dude. He said what he said happened. You know, like if he said this was gonna happen, it really happened.
Yeah.
Every time he said it. So you know, I like that about him. So I just gave it a chance. I was like, I bet, yeah, let's rock. So I basically became like Trey's video guy, and then he would just basically shop me to everyone that he dealt with.
Yeah, for sure.
So it just turned into like and then obviously I started networking and expanding myself and growing. And I'm shooting on a 5D, same camera right here. It's a 90D different, but basically essentially that camera.
Yeah.
When Canon first came out, that's what I was shooting all the big videos on.
That's dope.
A $1,500 camera. Because I was a local Milwaukee guy. I went from like local Milwaukee guy to like shooting with Wiz Khalifa in a 6-month period. Now, mind you, I had been shooting for years.
Yeah.
So I was good. I was in mode. I was already warmed up. I was ready for the game. But I didn't have a big camera yet.
Yeah.
So it was still like, who is this little dude? Who is this guy walking up with this little ass camera? I just posted if you look on my story on Instagram, I posted one with me and Wiz shooting with my 5D.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Doors just open.
Yeah.
So you
But that was 12 years in the making.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's the
That's 6 months of me going from shooting local to shooting with like everybody.
superstars.
But if you look back, if you look at how many videos I shot prior to that, there was hundreds that I had shot. Hundreds of videos. Half of them free, some of them just a couple bucks. Like before that point,
I look on your page right now, and it just you go down the list. You know, Sammy, Trade the Truth. You know, like you got Corey Pieper on there.
Yeah,
Milwaukee's very
Piper. It's so funny.
Pieper.
So the Corey's name Siri says Pieper.
Pieper? Okay, got you.
He'd be mad as hell. Like, bro, why the hell did he say my name wrong? I'm like, oh, that's just how I say it. So it's funny.
And that's how I read it, bro.
Yeah, it's Piper, but that's funny because Siri says Pieper too, and he always gets mad. Like, bro, who I gotta call at Apple to get this corrected? So,
oh man, can you explain your creative process when you're shooting a video? Like, you know, you just said like with Trade the Truth, you wanted to go outside down the block. He wasn't listening, but like with that type of backdrop, like what's the creative process like that when you focus in on shooting a video?
So there's two parts to the story on why I feel like I am who I am. One, I shoot so much and that I'm basically I've shot so many styles and so many different kinds of videos that I'm so well rehearsed that I can literally like pivot at a moment's notice and still make something look like we planned it, right? And two, just mentally being prepared for that. Yeah. Because that's how I started. Yeah. We never had a plan. We would just show up. Oh, it's raining. All right, grab an umbrella. You're going to be walking with an umbrella. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was never in the plan. We just went to a location that we liked and it started raining. We didn't even check the weather. So we had to make an adjustment. And now it's the rawest video ever because dude's walking in a downpour rain, but he's got the umbrella and it looks fire. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was like one of those things like wasting your mental energy on complaining or being defeated or getting upset or just like, oh man, just that's you only have so much mental energy that you can use on things, right? I won't even waste no time on worrying. Yeah. I'm immediately problem solving.
Making opportunities out of the worst, you know?
Literally, because at the end of the day, too, like, what are we gonna do? Cry about it? Yep. Like, what is that? That's not accomplishing. That's not accomplishing anything. So what can we do? So my like from the start, I've always been in like almost a survival mode. Okay. Right. Yeah. And now that I have time to set up and do all these other things, it's great, right? But there's, even with major budgets and major stuff going on, there's always variables, and I'm so smooth with the variables now. Yeah. Because I've gone through hell coming up with
For sure.
only variables. Like, dog, when it's like when you go work out in high altitudes and it's hard to breathe,
Yeah.
and you do that for 6 months, and then you come down to sea level, bro, you breathing good. But the only reason why is because you overexerted yourself for 6 months over here. I had overexerted myself for years coming up. So when I finally got into those positions of having the time and the budgets and the resources to do things the right way, I literally would be able to pivot on set and not even pivot sometimes. Sometimes just seeing a shot in the moment that's like, hey, this could be dope, and being able to execute it within a moment's notice, because I was so fluid with that already, because that's how it was easy.
Yeah.
It was like breathing.
Yeah.
I was breathing at sea level at that point. You know what I'm saying? I've been training up in the mountains. Now I'm breathing at sea level. It's easy to breathe down here. So it was those years of coming up, of just grinding it out and figuring it out and making it shake. And there is no budget. There is no backup plan. There is nothing. We have to get this shot. How do we get a shot, and how do we make it look good? Those years of training made it so now when I'm doing what I'm doing, I can just bust plays so easily.
Dude, that right there, that's the type of knowledge people need to hear, man. Because, my biggest thing when I started this, I told myself, and most people would advise, don't push into quality right away.
Yeah.
And I've been given that advice.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, no.
Yeah.
When I'm gonna start something, especially this podcast, I want it to sound
Definitely.
I want to separate myself. There is no.
Yeah.
It's been a grind. It's been a journey. But
Yeah.
I want who I'm interviewing, like you. When you hear that, I want you to feel like, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna promote this.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna promote this because it sounds professional,
dude. And it's crazy. This board changed my life, bro. I just you watch Gilly. Gilly and
Gilly. I got a funny story with Gilly. I was at Trey. Trey has a holiday in Houston, and I've met Gilly a bunch of times. And it's 3 a.m, and we're out in the parking lot, and it's me, Trey, and Gilly, and everyone that keeps coming out of the doors is like, "Yo, Philly."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yo," and they're like, "No," and they're like pointing to me, and he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, my name's Philly," and he was like, "But I'm from Philly." and literally, I'm like, "All right, well, let's see." And literally, as people are coming out the doors, they're like, "Philly," and he's like, "You talking to me?" And he's like, "No, white boy right there."
Boy.
And he's like, "Damn, how the fuck I get overpowered by this dude?" Because I knew everybody there.
For sure.
And obviously, people know Gilly too, but like they're calling him Gilly.
Yeah.
But in Philly, they call him Philly, and it's a nickname he has too. So that was funny because it was like, I was like, all right, watch. And as people were coming out the door, everyone's like, "Oh, Philly, what up?"
That's dope.
And they talking to me. So
you know what? With him, he just signed his podcast deal.
yeah, no, I've seen it.
$100 million.
Yeah,
bro. And believe me, the first time I realized that he was using the same board that I was using, I freaked out.
but it's not even about the board.
And it's not. It's just,
But it is.
In my,
But it isn't.
Yeah.
But it is.
It is, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Like in my head,
It's symbolic.
it's symbolic.
It's very
exactly.
symbolic.
And right now,
Yeah.
I'm pushing out this content, and I'll tell you through these interviews, the stories
Yeah.
and the density of just the impact of people.
Yeah.
I love Milwaukee, bro.
Yeah. But the symbolism of it is definitely, and that's where, like, with me too, the Philly facts and how I do things, it's symbolic for people to see, like, oh shit, Philly uses that.
Yeah.
And that's not even like a quote unquote professional piece of gear.
Yeah.
And he uses that. I use that too. So it's like, it just brings it down to the realization of, like, there's more that goes into the success factor than having the best camera, right? It doesn't matter that you have the best camera, right?
Yep.
But if you bust your ass and work hard and you get to that level where you get the best camera, the best mics and all that other stuff, but you've been working and you know how to use this gear and you've presented it correctly, that's when the gear makes sense.
Yeah.
So like for you, if you had no guests and you had no setup and you're not having this board wouldn't mean anything.
For sure.
See what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's like the work and the fact that you've put this together is the reason why that board and Gilly's situation, him having that same board, makes sense. You sitting at the house looking at that shit on your floor because you bought it from the Guitar Center doesn't mean stuff. That doesn't hold weight if you sat on a couch right now and said, "Hey, bro, I got the same board as Gilly." Well, what are you doing with it? Nothing.
Yeah.
What does that matter?
It's crazy because this isn't the first board I had. I had the Pro.
Yeah.
This is the new series they came out with, and literally, Now I'm getting ready to rent that one out.
Yeah.
And start making a type of income off of it.
Yeah.
Start making the money I've been investing in, you know?
Yeah.
But it's crazy because
I mean, good gear is always, I always tell people this too. Like at the end of the day, it is good to invest. If you have the financial means, buy the good thing or wait longer to buy the good thing.
Yeah.
If it takes an extra 6 months of saving up, get the good thing because trust me, I've dealt with a lot of the medium level and the low level stuff in my career.
Yeah.
And it always breaks and fucks up and then you look like an asshole, you know? Like
For sure.
if you're on set and your lights aren't working right, you look like an asshole.
Yeah.
So it's like wait 6 months, just save up. I get it, you want it now. Just maybe it might be, save a couple more paychecks and then get the good one.
Yeah.
It'll last you forever and it's gonna make you look better and it's overall gonna get you a stronger point. So I appreciate the fact that you do have this level of audio quality.
Yeah, man.
This is way the hell better than what I had in my studio. I didn't have no shit like this.
Yeah, man. And this is me gonna shout out my wife, man. She's one of the biggest reasons I'm out here doing what I'm doing because, she believes in me.
Yeah.
And there's nothing stronger than a woman that behind you, back in every move. So it's for her, like, to be in my side and, she's seen how hard I've grinded out, but like her having my back is like, and that's how I made this possible.
Yeah. I mean, you could talk to my wife about that. I mean, I'm gone all the time.
Yeah.
And for her to hold down the house and the kids and everything like that and work full time, I mean, she's full blast. So the fact that, she's doing that, not tripping, it is what it is. And then we try to find a medium of how I can make up for the time that I'm gone, and I'm gone all the time.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have to put up with that. She could have, but she knew what she was getting herself into.
For sure.
And she didn't switch it up when she got into it. Like some girls get into it and they think it'll change. Mm-hmm. She got into it knowing what it was and accepted it for what it was and just kept it moving. Yeah. And we work our best to make it work, and it's working. I mean, we've been together we've been married 7 years. So I mean, for me, I totally understand that viewpoint. A bad woman is like having a leg cut off. I'm telling you. Oh. And having a good woman is like driving in a Ferrari. You know what I'm saying? Like you can you can really get moving. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen it. Believe me, man. I've seen, and I know you have too. But yeah, definitely that type of support, it goes a long way. And, the progress we're making, we're reaching out. I'm doing Jason Abraham of Hupie and Abraham next week. Yeah,
I need put him on. I'm gonna prepay legal him real quick, just in case someone try to, if Philadelphia come try to sue me for the name Philly. If I get so big, they're like, damn, you're taking over the Google search. You know what I'm saying? If I'm #1 Google search and Philadelphia is #2, I'm gonna need the lawyer team to step in.
Hey man, but yeah, man. And then I was just talking to Ray Nitty last night.
Shouts out to Nitty. I've done a bunch of stuff with Nitty.
Yeah. And these are all Milwaukee. Steve Hibicki, I'm releasing his interview this week.
We just shot a video with Corey Piper. With Corey Piper and Cap G that Steve Hibicki produced.
That's where that picture was from. Because when you took that picture, Omar over there, he's like, dude, that's Cap G, like. And I was
shouts
like,
to Cap. I just got done. I'll show you the video I just shot for him too. I can show you when we get done.
That's dope.
Yeah, Cap's cool as fuck.
So with now you have so many years in the industry. What are highlights that stand out in your career for you?
So what highlights, I think it's one of those things too, like, everyone's like, live in the moment, be in the moment, be in the moment. And I'm a very in the moment kind of guy, but sometimes things take a while to absorb. It could be a year, it could be 6 months, it could be 10 years. Sometimes the moment's so big or it's just happening so fast that it's almost like it's not humanly possible to absorb this moment. You know? And I mean, one of those ones for me, I think, off the top of my head, it would be Memories Back Then.
Man, before you jump into that, I just want to let you know, and this is gonna be, you'll appreciate this. When that song came out, it was on In Demand on Time Warner, and I lived on 12th and Arthur on the South Side, and I used to play that song that's the one with B.O.B.
Yeah, and Kendrick Lamar.
Yep, and
Chris Steffens. Yeah,
I used to play it over and over. I just wanted you to know that, and that's crazy that I have you seated with me, and you are the person who shot this. So I'm like, holy. And
I was green as hell back then, and I just started working with Tip, and Tip hit me like 24 hours notice.
Yeah,
and was like, hey, bro, Kendrick's got a opening in his schedule for like Tuesday, and it's like Sunday night or like Monday morning or something. It was like literally like 24 hours from when he said we could shoot, and I'm like this Tuesday? He's like, yeah, this Tuesday. Like, can you get on a plane? I'm like, all right. So literally, like, I'm on the plane. I literally dropped everything I was doing, get on the plane. I'm writing the ideas on the plane.
Yeah.
There's no time to get permits. There's no times to do anything like this. I don't even know how to get a permit at this point. I'm green. I'm still like just coming up. So I'm like, we just gonna thug it out.
Survival mode.
I'm like, yo, listen, if Tip want to shoot with 24 hours notice, we got to shoot it my way. We gonna thug it out.
Yeah.
I've already shot with Kendrick before he was Kendrick. He's now Kendrick though.
Yeah,
but I'm still like, I feel comfortable because I'm like, he knew me. I shot with Kendrick before he's Kendrick, so like it should be cool. B.O.B. I already knew him. You know, Tip, everybody else, it was good. And I just told Tip, like, you got to let these guys know, like, we're thugging it out. Don't have them coming to set thinking we got catering and you know, all this other crazy stuff. I don't even rock like that.
Yeah.
So long story short, I get to LA. I kind of mapped out these locations, but again, we don't have no permits, we don't have no time to even look at the locations. I'm just going off of like Google searches, you know, like what dope spots in LA.
Yeah.
So we go to 6th Street Bridge, which is like the main bridge where everyone shoots everything. I literally stole, excuse me for stealing, I stole construction, the orange cones from a construction site on the way because I didn't even have time to go to my hotel. We got off the plane and had to go right to set.
Wow.
So I'm on the way to go to set and I steal some construction cones so I can block a lane of traffic off because we're going to shoot on the street.
Yeah.
So I got Kendrick Lamar on 6th Street Bridge, like literally filming on the bridge with T.I. We have MTV there. MTV's doing like behind the scenes and like Yo MTV, all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just out there thugging it. And I got a Canon 5D. I'm shooting this video with a Canon 5D.
Yes.
Literally, bro. And I'm just like, yo, like, let's get it. And I remember Kendrick, he had to do an outfit change. And when someone from Kendrick's team was like, yo, do we got a trailer? And I went over to Kendrick. I said, yo, Kendrick, check me out. I mean, I get it, you big dog. But, like, remember when you weren't big dog when I shot with you? I'm like, I'm going to need you to be like that today.
Yeah.
Like, you got to change in your car.
You got to.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have it. Like, just you got to help me out. Thug it out. Like, let's get it. And he was cool. He's like, yeah, all right, bet. He's like, yeah, it's all good. He's like, it's not like I got to put a suit on. He just had to, switch it out. So he switches it out. Went great. Went perfect. Everything was really dope. And then we went to Santa Monica Pier. I'm at Santa Monica Pier with B.O.B. and T.I. Yeah. And it's like the middle of the day and it's packed. Yeah. I'm like, it's a weekday, so I'm expecting it to be like light. It was packed to the walls like, you know, a Saturday.
For sure.
And I got these two major artists with me. I'm like, there's no way I can shoot here. So literally there was a backside to the pier where like access to the businesses are. And that's where they like load in. Mm-hmm. But it's still technically the pier, but it's just kind of narrow. It's only like 10 feet wide and no one really walks back there because that's where the businesses are. So I talked to the business guy like, yo, can I shoot behind your store? Yeah. And he's like, I mean, like, what are you trying to do? And then he saw T.I. and he was like, oh, shit, like, you shooting with Tip? He's like, oh, yeah, do whatever you want, bro. You good. Yeah. So if you could see the perspective, like a drone shot, I had T.I. and B.O.B. on the backside of the Santa Monica Pier with 8 million people just on the other side. And now exactly. Now, had anybody seen them, it would have been a wrap. It would have been a wrap.
It would have been a wrap for the shot.
And fortunate enough for me, we literally got over there. They hopped out the car. I was ready to shoot. We shot the scenes that we needed there, and then we got the hell out of there. But if you could just see the perspective, you look right, 8 million people. You look left, we're over in this little duck pocket just shooting with T.I. All these people have no idea that I'm over there shooting with T.I. and B.O.B. And literally, we get in and out 15, 20 minutes, boop, we out.
That's fire, bro. Yeah. Those are, man, see, like that, just that type of experience.
And then the final scene, and I don't think I never told this to anybody. It's not like the craziest thing, but it's a little nugget. Yeah. We go back to the house, and we're at the house, and it's me, Kendrick, B.O.B., Tip, and we're trying to figure out, like, let's use the house somehow, you know? Because Tip had rented this big house in the Hollywood Hills or whatever, and I'm sitting at the table, and there's this kid next to me, and he's like, yo, bro, hey, you Philly, da-da-da, you know, I want you to shoot some videos for me. And he's like, you know, I'm signed to Tip as an artist, I'm signed to Kanye as a producer. And I'm like, oh, dope. Wow. And I'm like, yo, like, what's your name? He's like, I'm Travis Scott. Yeah. And I'm like,
oh, okay, my God, bro.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I didn't even know who he was. So, and he, at this point in time, he's really not nobody.
Oh, dude, you just.
Yeah. So I'm sitting next to Travis Scott, and he's got his laptop with him, and Kendrick's like right there, Travis Scott's right here, and he's just like showing me his stuff, and he was super dope. Like he was dope, and we were chopping it up about videos, and like he had the Katana video. If you're familiar with the Katana, Katana. So he had Katana out at the time, and I was like, damn, this dude's dope. You could tell, like, I'm like, oh yeah, he's dope. Yeah. And he was signed to Tip as an artist, and he was signed to Kanye as a producer. But at the moment, I didn't really know who he was. Yeah. You know, the name hadn't came up on my exactly. But the music was fire. I was like, oh yeah, this dude's hard. So me and him had chopped it up, and obviously he's with Tip. I've been whatever, but like literally like shortly after that, he exploded into like a whole nother realm. And then I never seen him again in my life. But it was crazy because I'm sitting at the table just chopping it up on some, like, he's like, yo, bro, you shoot videos? Like, man, I got some ideas. And we were just chopping it up. So let me get back to the rest of it here. So we're at this house. And again, pivot mode. Tip's like, we should shoot out by the pool. That's not really the vibe of this record. You know what I'm saying? Like, it needs to be a little bit more like whatever. So I'm like, is there a roof on this house? He's like, I mean, yeah. I mean, like, but like a walkable roof, not like a tilted roof.
Not like slanted.
So I go outside, and sure enough, there's like a small little side like way you can walk up there, and like almost like, I guess you could say like a little small like 5x5 foot patio, but then the rest of the roof is flat. Yeah. But it's a pretty big fall on the other side. So I come down, I'm like, yo, Tip, I need everybody on the roof. And the sun's kind of coming down. I'm like, we got to hurry up. Let's go. And that's literally my favorite shot is how the video starts. We're on the roof of the house that Tip rented, and the sun's coming down, and it's like golden hour, and we shot it in like 30 minutes. But like I literally run everybody up on this roof. Like I got Kendrick up there, Bob up there, Chris Steffens up there, and there's a picture of us right at the end of the shoot, and I'm standing in the middle of all of them. And like that moment, I'm standing with B.O.B., T.I., Kendrick Lamar, Chris Steffens. That probably the biggest. It's the biggest video I've ever shot. Numbers and popularity wise, it's the biggest video I've ever shot. And I winged half of it, and I thugged it out, and I shot it the way I shot it. I did not shoot it as a big budget video. We shot it thugging it out like a street video. And half of the scenes that were in it, I was coming up with on the plane, and the other half I winged it off by looking at, okay, what do we got? Boom, let's do this.
That's like some surreal type depth right there, man. Yeah. You've been talking about all these artists that you've collabed with. That's, just saying that Kendrick Lamar, he's definitely his.
I filmed with Kendrick before he was Kendrick, though. Trey the Truth had a record with him.
And that's even greater because that goes in with your history and just how long you've been grinding this out. As we talk about these names, who are some musical influences of yours growing up?
So I was, and I still am. I'm more. I like singers, like rap wise. Like I like a lot of rap, right? But if I have something, if I'm choosing to listen to something, I'm more than likely. I was an R&B dude. I was a 112 dude. I was Tank. Shouts out to Tank from Milwaukee. I was a big Tank fan. Sammy. That's like Jacob Ladder.
Sammy.
That's why like when I started shooting, I was shooting so much rap stuff, and I'm like, I like rap. I love rap. I was a big NWA fan. I was super big Death Row fan. I was Master P. I was No Limit. I was Cash Money. I mean, I was literally skipping school to buy, ghetto dope, Master P. And I got it stolen 3 times. I kept having to go buy more of them because they kept stealing them from my locker. So I'm saying, like, I was always a rap dude, but like a big R&B dude too. So that's why I really had to make a jump when I was filming too. Like I want to shoot R&B. I shot so much rap, no one wanted me to shoot R&B. And then Jacob Lattimore was one of the first ones that let me shoot.
That boy, man, I'm not that man. Let me see.
And Ray Nitty actually connected me with Jacob Lattimore to shoot that video. The first one I shot for Jacob, he was younger at the time, and I shot now 6 or 7 with Jacob. But when the first one I shot with Jacob, and it was like my first R&B video.
His voice is crazy.
Yeah, it was the first R&B video I shot, and Ray Nitty had linked me up with Jake's mom, who manages him, and got me to shoot the video, and that was the first introduction. And once I shot that, like I started shooting all the R&B stuff. I shot with Rotimi, I shot with Jeremiah, I shot with Sammy, I shot with, I've shot with.
That's crazy, dude. That right there is just the names, man. Like Rotimi, I think he slept on. He has super slept on.
But it's not slept on. I wouldn't say slept on. So Rotimi, I don't think it's slept on at all. It's just that he kind of came out as the acting kind of became
power.
The power thing blew up so big that it's like people are still absorbing the fact that he's like multifaceted. It's like it's like Jacob Lattimore. It's the reverse Jacob Lattimore. Like Jacob was this hardcore only singing, and then all of a sudden he started acting. And when he first started acting, people were like, "Oh, he's a singer."
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And they were like, they didn't take him serious. And then it took like 6 or 7 roles, and now Jacob's like the man. You know what I'm saying? The same with Rotimi. Like Rotimi's got so much fire music, but he just got to keep knocking at that door. He's gonna be good. In fact, shouts out to Ro. I gotta hit him up actually because we got to do another project. I just shot his newest single.
Yeah.
He said he's got 2 more that we're gonna be shooting soon too. So he's dope to work with too. Rotimi's like super.
Man.
Same with Jacob. Jacob's amazing.
Man, it's
Sammy too. Sammy, I shot with Sammy.
You hear this, Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Do you hear this? This man is in the mode, still at it. You know.
Yeah. But I love it.
Yeah.
It's just something I love to do too.
Well, even through the pandemic, that put a halt to things.
Well, so the pandemic actually worked in my favor.
It did.
In one way.
Okay, got you.
In one main way, I go really hard.
Yeah.
Like really, I go crazy with.
Sure.
I shoot a lot of videos.
Yeah.
And ironically, I almost got trapped in British Virgin Islands with Ray Nitty.
Wow.
During COVID, because we tried to go out there like when they were shutting down the world.
Yeah.
And we still went. And then literally like they were like, "Don't go, you're gonna get trapped there." We're like, "Yeah, whatever, we'll be good, we'll figure it out." You know what I'm saying? And we went over there and like the whole island was shut down, everybody was gone, like it was like, it was like shut down. And we ended up getting back, long story short, but I had like 17 videos that I needed to get edited.
Yeah.
Literally 17 videos. So I had all the time in the world.
Yeah. Time to focus is just, hey.
And I had a movie that I was editing. So I was so stocked up on stuff because I shoot so much. And I literally was like, dang, I actually have time to edit these videos and get them done. So and it was perfect because all people were doing was sitting on their phones, right?
Yeah.
So when we dropped all these videos, I dropped crazy amount of content during COVID.
Well, good for you, man. I'm happy to hear that because
I was going crazy. They were like, "No, you shooting these?" I'm like, "No, these have all been shot."
These been shot.
And then immediately, like I was probably one of the first guys on the plane too. The second we were moving around the whole COVID. Like I flew to Dubai. I was in Dubai. I was in Turkey. I was all over the place during.
Man.
And I got some crazy stories with that. That'd be a whole nother podcast. International Philly.
How would you say Milwaukee has attributed to your success?
I mean, I just think the dynamic of Milwaukee, if it's utilized correctly, can be a great place to hone your skills because it's like big enough of a city that you're not like some kid from like a farm. You know what I'm saying? You still get the city. Chicago's right here. You're still in the mix, but it's small enough that you can actually like get stuff done.
Yeah.
Like, I love shooting. I film a lot in Milwaukee. I just filmed something the other day, and it's like you can get so much dope stuff here because you got the lake. There's your ocean.
There you go. Yeah.
You want a beach shot, ocean shot. There you go.
Go down to the lake. South Shore.
You know what I'm saying? You want the city gritty look. Go in the alleyways behind the buildings.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You want this. You want that. There's so many different looks that you can get here. And it's so easy. Like I was literally shooting with this artist, and we did like 6 locations in like 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, you could never do this in LA, ever. This would be a 4-day shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like in LA, you can only do 1 location, maybe 2, and, and that's it. It burns up because you get 2 hours of drive time, and it's just nuts. So like, that's what I love about Milwaukee. It's just so easy to move here and maneuver, and people are down for the cause. So it's like you can really rock. Everybody complains about the support system. That's just because it's not a music city. It is and it isn't. Like it's low key. I feel like it is because there's so many names that have come from here.
Yeah.
But like on a global scale, like it's not like a like a Nashville or like in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? But so of course the culture here isn't to be a music town. So the support isn't going to necessarily be organic here like it is in Nashville. Nashville, they see someone coming up, they're like, this dude could legit be the next big thing. Yeah. Because we've seen 100 artists from Nashville blow up. Yep. That hasn't really happened in Milwaukee like that, so people don't believe it. Again, what did I tell you? Yep. You got to be in mode. Give them something to look at, to like, and then they'll get on board. But
I feel the way I feel about Milwaukee is that, like you said, you have so many like people that are really low key, great. Yeah.
I think there's talent everywhere, though. There's talent in
Yeah.
every city. There's talent everywhere in the world. It's just a matter of how the people that are there are harnessing it. And I feel like Milwaukee is starting to harness that.
Yeah.
That's it. Like you, for instance, you're not discouraged by the fact that you're from Milwaukee anymore. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people used to use Milwaukee as a cop-out. Well, I'm from Milwaukee. How am I supposed to do this? Well, now there's some examples of people from Milwaukee that have done this, so now you don't have that excuse anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there's examples from other people that are from really small towns that have blown up. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these guys that you see that are, huge artists. Like you go look for where they were born. They're born in the middle of nowhere.
I was born in the South Bronx.
Yeah.
But I came here 6 months later, and here I am my whole life.
But you would think, coming from New York, like, what am I gonna do in Milwaukee? You'd use it almost as a way to get out of doing something. You'd say, well, I'm from Milwaukee. I can probably only do this or that.
I don't want to make this like sound like egoish, but one thing I've always told myself, I was made for New York, but I was made in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's more of a telling myself, I got this.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So, with those kind of questions, like where do you see you, what do you want to do, all that stuff, I think the best way for me to answer that is, I'm just going to keep cranking on stuff. I have some stuff that I want to do, and I have the Philly Facts and doing short film and movies and stuff and doing music videos. But, like, when you're working and you're doing so many things like what I'm doing, like, there's a lot of variables that come up in a positive way. Like, I got sponsored by Let's See Hard Drives. Like, I got flown out to Barbados to do like a film festival out of nowhere. Like there's all these things and opportunities that happen, and that's another thing. The work creates work. As long as you're working, have your goals, have your where you want to be and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But also understand that when you're working and you're networking and you're putting your name out there, there's going to be opportunities, and you might not even understand how big you're going to be. But if you're not working, that's never going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And don't get discouraged by the fact that maybe, your goal or your specific vision isn't happening as fast or where you want it to go, because as long as you're working, you don't know who's watching. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's so much different opportunity. Like I would have never thought in a million years I would be doing, movies. And I just shot a movie with Tip. We shot a 6-part miniseries. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's awesome.
And that was from like 8 years of working with Tip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I would have never, that was never my goal. But then when I did it, now I want to do more of it. Now I'm setting up, I'm actually going to be self-financing a movie with some people that I work with too. So it's like, it's like one of those things. You gotta go down your path, but also be willing to like kind of go off the path when you see another opportunity, but the only way those things are going to happen is by you working and networking and putting your face out there, because no one's coming knocking on the door if you're just sitting around doing nothing. It's not happening. No one's coming to save you.
That's awesome. You need an extra. You let me know for that movie.
Come on.
Man, this is great. What advice would you give to aspiring, videographers in the inner city, just in this in general? What type of advice would you give? And
this is going to be a Philly fact. I'm doing a Philly fact on this.
Yeah.
So I'm giving you a gem before. So
yes.
I don't know, whenever this comes out, we'll kind of cross promote. Maybe it's that you get the full version of this, but it's something that I always say is being, patiently aggressive.
Okay.
So there's two parts to it. Obviously, being aggressive with what you're doing and making sure you're grinding and keeping consistent and creating that content or doing whatever it is that you do.
Yeah.
But understanding that you need to have patience, because things just do not happen overnight. They just do not. In no way, shape, or form, unless your dad's a billionaire or you win the lottery, do things happen overnight. There's a very small 1% that does have it happen overnight, but the majority of us, it takes time. But if you're not grinding, it's never going to happen. So it's being patient and understanding. If you have a realistic expectation that this thing could take 6 years, you won't get discouraged after 6 months. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it might take 3 years. But if in your mind you're like, hey, I'm down to do this for 6 years. I just love doing this. I'm going to do 6 years of this before I even think about maybe going away from something like this. You give yourself such a bigger chance to have these big opportunities because they take time.
Yeah.
But be aggressive.
That's awesome.
But have your mind right. It's like when you go into something, if your mind isn't adjusted right and you think it's gonna happen overnight, how discouraged do you think you're gonna be when it's a year in and nothing has happened yet? But guess what? At 13 months, that might happen. Yeah. But if you're discouraged by month 1 because your expectation was that it was happening overnight, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna stop at month 1.
Cave. Man. I'll tell you.
That's a Philly fact. That's gonna be a
Philly,
full,
yeah.
That's gonna be a full fact on my channel soon. So
And everyone on YouTube, Philly Facts. Check it out. PhillyFlyBoy.
Yeah, PhillyFlyBoy, all one word, no caps, no spaces, spelled correctly. PhillyFlyBoy on everything: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everything. YouTube channel. I'm most active on Instagram and YouTube. Those are my 2 platforms.
That's awesome. I appreciate you, man, and I just want you to understand you're one of the greatest examples of success. That to make it out of Milwaukee and you still remember home. And
I still live here.
And you still live here, you know what I mean? You still
here,
come back and
I'm still here.
But you ultimately put in this city on your back. And I want to express how much I look up to you.
Appreciate it.
How much I appreciate your advice when I do contact you. Because most people, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to reply, but you do. And I truly
answer the phone. That's my last Philly fact.
Yeah.
And do I stay true to that?
Yeah, you do.
Every time you hit me. Every time you hit me. Yep.
It's crazy. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for showing love to the podcast. Thank you for showing love, doing what you do for the city. You're definitely just like I said. I look up to you, and you know, keep grinding, bro. Like, I feel honored to have this interview. And you know, with that being said, Steve Phillips, a.k.a. PhillyFlyBoy, with me today.
Come on.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, brother.
Let's get it. Team MK. Let's get it.